I still remember the exact moment my life took a turn I never could have imagined. It was a rainy Tuesday evening, and I was driving home from work after another exhausting day. The roads were nearly empty, and the sky was covered in dark clouds that seemed to match my mood. My name is Emily, and at the time I thought I had everything figured out. I had a stable job, a beautiful apartment, and a fiancé named Ryan, who I trusted with my whole heart, or at least I thought I did. That night, I was driving along the familiar road when something strange happened. My phone suddenly lit up on the passenger seat. Then a voice spoke. "Turn around." I frowned and glanced at the screen. There was no navigation app open. In fact, my GPS wasn't even turned on. I picked up the phone and checked it quickly. Nothing. No maps, no directions, no active applications. I shook my head and placed it back down. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe I was just tired. A few moments later, the voice returned. "Trust me. Keep driving." My hands tightened around the steering wheel. A chill ran down my spine. I looked around the empty road, wondering if someone was playing a prank, but there was nobody there. The voice sounded exactly like a GPS assistant. Calm, clear, almost human. For a moment, I considered pulling over, but something inside me told me to continue. I don't know why. Even now, I can't explain it. Maybe curiosity, maybe instinct, maybe fate. As I drove farther from my usual route, the voice continued giving directions. Take the next right. Continue straight. Slow down. Every instruction led me farther away from home and deeper into confusion. After nearly 30 minutes, I found myself in a quiet neighborhood I had never visited before. Then the voice spoke one final time. "You've arrived." I looked up. Standing directly across the street was a small house. The lights were on. A black SUV was parked outside, and I immediately recognized it. It belonged to Ryan, my fiancé, the man who had told me he was out of town for a business meeting. My heart stopped. I stared at the house, unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to understand why his vehicle was sitting outside a stranger's home. But what I didn't know that night was that this mysterious GPS voice had just led me to the biggest betrayal of my life, and the truth waiting behind that front door would change everything. I sat in my car for nearly 10 minutes, trying to convince myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe Ryan was helping a friend. Maybe he had forgotten something. Maybe I was overthinking. But deep down, I already knew. The feeling in my chest was telling me the truth long before my eyes would confirm it. Finally, I stepped out of the car. The rain had become heavier. My shoes splashed through puddles as I slowly walked toward the house. Every step felt heavier than the last. Then I reached a window, and everything shattered. Inside, Ryan was sitting on a couch. Next to him was another woman. They weren't discussing work. They weren't talking business. They were laughing, holding hands, looking happier than I had seen him in months. I felt my entire world collapse. The man I had trusted, the man I planned to marry, the man who promised forever, had built a second life behind my back. Tears streamed down my face as I stumbled back toward my car. I didn't knock. I didn't confront him. I didn't scream. I simply drove away. That night I cried harder than I ever had before. The betrayal felt unbearable. For weeks I could barely sleep. Ryan continued pretending everything was normal. He called, he texted, he lied, and every message felt like another knife in my heart. Then one evening I decided something. I was done being the victim. I wasn't going to destroy myself because someone else lacked honesty. Instead, I would quietly uncover the full truth. Over the next month I gathered evidence. Photos, messages, receipts, hotel bookings, everything. What shocked me most wasn't the affair itself. It was how long it had been happening. Nearly 2 years. While I was planning wedding details, he was creating memories with someone else. The pain turned into determination. The sadness became strength. And slowly I stopped crying. For the first time, I began focusing on myself. I joined a fitness program, spent time with friends, returned to hobbies I had abandoned. Piece by piece, I started rebuilding the woman Ryan had almost destroyed. But there was still one thing left to do. One final chapter before I could truly move on. 3 months later, our wedding date arrived. Most of the invitations had already been sent before I discovered the truth. Family members had booked flights, friends had reserved hotels, everyone expected a celebration. Ryan expected a wedding. What he didn't expect was the truth. The ceremony venue was beautifully decorated. Guests filled the seats. Music played softly. Everything appeared perfect. Ryan stood at the front smiling confidently, as if he had done nothing wrong, as if he hadn't spent years lying. Then it was my turn to walk down the aisle. I stepped forward calmly. No tears, no anger, no fear, just peace. When I reached the front, Ryan smiled, but his smile quickly disappeared when I asked the coordinator to start the presentation. A large screen behind us suddenly lit up. Photos appeared, messages appeared, hotel receipts appeared. Proof, undeniable proof. The room fell silent. Every guest watched in shock. Ryan's face turned pale. His family looked stunned. The woman he had been secretly seeing was sitting in the audience. She hadn't known about me. And she looked just as betrayed as I had once felt. Ryan tried explaining, tried defending himself, but there was nothing left to say. The truth was speaking for itself. I looked at him one final time. Then I calmly removed my engagement ring. I deserved honesty, I said quietly. Instead, you gave me lies. And with that, I walked away. No screaming, no revenge fueled by anger. Just truth. Pure truth. Months later, I learned that Ryan lost more than a wedding. He lost friendships, trust, respect, and most importantly, the future he had taken for granted. As for me, I found something far more valuable: freedom, healing, peace. Looking back now, I often think about that strange GPS voice. I still don't know how it happened. Maybe it was a technical glitch, maybe coincidence, or maybe life has mysterious ways of revealing what we need to see. Whatever it was, it saved me from living a lie. And if there's one lesson I've learned, it's this. Sometimes the most painful truth is also the greatest gift, because betrayal can break your heart, but truth can rebuild your life. And when someone shows you who they truly are, believe them. Then keep driving forward, toward a better future, toward yourself.